So the next one is adversarial AI attacks and model manipulation. So data poisoning is a big thing. So you think about during training phases, you can sneak bad data or bad information, into GPTs or into your inside LLM. There's model inversion attacks where hackers can reverse engineer the AI systems to extract information and do what they want. Or you can trick the AI with different confusing inputs and say, no, I promise I have the security clearances to be able to do this stuff. And then there's backdoor attacks as well that we're starting to see increase in the space. And then another one is autonomous AI agents and those security vulnerabilities. So I mentioned those before, but if you think about giving these assistants access to all of your systems, because that is what they need to be able to work and to be able to function, what kind of security breaches or security vulnerabilities are you now up against? Are they learning to access areas that they shouldn't unless you have strict boundaries around them? They can be very unpredictable. Agents can work together, and figure out problems and start building something new. And so there's a lot of vulnerabilities brought in with this space when we're talking about the hybrid, the human and agent element working together. And then vibe coding and AI generated security risks. So I like to vibe code. I like playing with, lovable apps and Replit and building things. But then I look at the massive amount of code and I don't have the skill set to tell if it's good or bad or vulnerable or junk. And, people are putting these new apps that they're creating, they're lots of fun on their phones and on their systems. And, they have not been validated as secure or not. And this is something that will continue to evolve. But this vulnerable code generation is a real problem. Also prompt injection attacks and supply chain contamination, based on code. And then developers potentially losing some of their skills when they're writing code. It used to be they'd sit down and, focus on it for hours upon hours. And now with vibe coding, there is a skill set that could be lost unless you are staying up to date and paying attention. No, and then lastly, these IoT is Internet of Things and these wearable AI devices and exploitations. So if you have an Apple Watch, your phone, I love my Ultra Human Ring, but it is tracking a ton of data for me, and that data can be exploited, turning all of your devices into spying tools. And especially for employees that are working from home now so much more than they were previously, vulnerabilities and exploitation is at a much, much higher level. Oh, and then so overall, many of these that you could look at this list and you go, well, those aren't really new. Some of them aren't new, but they're definitely amplified by AI. So amplified by speed and scale, all the different detection challenges, skills gap and lack of training, and then, regulatory lag and what happens to the cybersecurity frameworks and regulations when we can't keep up. And then, I love this one. I just needed a reason to put it in there. But modern problems require modern solutions. And so, yes, cybersecurity experts are absolutely using AI as well. They're using AI to become faster at threat detection and enhancing their decision making and, increasing their predictive security. So predictive models that warn against vulnerabilities before they actually become a problem have been really helpful, and they're evolving and getting better and better with time. And then just upskilling people in real time and reducing human error when there are security incidences and breaches.